Failure is not what you think it is. It's not an obstacle. It's the gateway to your success. But the truth is, most people never see it. What if I told you that the difference between those who fail and those who succeed is one simple mindset shift? One thought, one belief, that could change everything for you. Are you ready to find out what it is? Now, we all know failure. We've all faced it in some form, whether it's a career setback, a failed relationship, or simply falling short of our own expectations. But here's the truth that most people don't realize. Failure isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of a new journey. And the only thing standing between you and success is how you choose to see it. Most of us fear failure. We see it as a reflection of who we are, our worth. But what if I told you that seeing failure as a reflection of yourself is exactly where you're going wrong? Here's the mindset shift. Failure is not a reflection of you. It is a tool that shapes you, refines you, and ultimately leads you to success. The only reason failure feels like a setback is because we allow it to define us. We think, I failed, so I must not be good enough. But that's a lie. Failure doesn't define your ability or your worth. It's simply a lesson in disguise. Think about it. Every successful person you admire, from world-class athletes to business moguls, has faced monumental failures. The difference is, they learned to embrace those failures instead of running from them. They understood that failure was part of the process, not the end of it. Psychologically, failure activates something inside us called the growth mindset, a term coined by psychologist Carol Dweck. The growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence are not fixed. They can be developed over time with effort, learning, and resilience. When we fail, our brain releases a stress response. But this response, when properly managed, becomes the very thing that propels us forward. This is where most people get stuck. They experience that stress, that discomfort, and they quit. But successful people don't see stress as a stop sign. They see it as a signal that they're on the right path. They know that every failure is shaping them into something greater. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Can you imagine that? 10,000 attempts to create the light bulb, and each failure taught him something new. In fact, Edison didn't view his failures as failures at all. He saw them as experiments that gave him the knowledge he needed to eventually succeed. If he had stopped after the first few failures, or even the 1,000th, we would have never known the power of electricity. But because he embraced failure, he changed the world. Or take J.K. Rowling, who faced rejection after rejection before Harry Potter was published. She was a single mother living in poverty, rejected by 12 publishers, before finding one that believed in her story. Imagine if she had let each rejection define her, if she had listened to the critics and quit, the world would have never had Harry Potter, one of the most successful book franchises in history. Philosophically, failure is tied to something deeper. The ancient philosopher Aristotle once said, "It is not the failure itself that defines us, but how we rise from it." In other words, our response to failure is what truly matters. Do we let it break us down, or do we allow it to build us up? This is where the true power of failure lies. It's in how we choose to interpret it. Are you someone who sees failure as a roadblock, or do you see it as a stepping stone? The answer to that question is the difference between staying stuck or moving forward in life. If you're open to it, let's consider a verse from the Bible. Romans 5:3-4 says, "We also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope." Now, this may sound like a spiritual perspective, but it perfectly encapsulates what we're talking about. The suffering in this verse could be our failures, our setbacks, our moments of pain. But instead of focusing on the pain, we're called to see how it produces something greater in us: perseverance, character, and hope. Every failure is not a punishment. It's a lesson that leads us to something better. So here's the challenge I'm leaving you with today. The next time you face failure, don't run from it. Don't let it define you. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What does this experience want to teach me? How can I grow stronger from this moment? The failure isn't the end. It's the most powerful tool you have to shape your success. Embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Remember, the only real failure is in giving up. And as long as you keep going, you're always one step closer to success. Take this mindset shift into your life today. Don't just survive failure, thrive in it. It's the key to unlocking your full potential